How to pull success. How much wealth do you want? What kind of life do you think is a successful life? The definition of wealth and success is different for each person. I use the degree to which money does not impose limits on living the life I want as the criterion for wealth. But success is to achieve what I want. So your dream life will be different. It begins with recognizing what that life is. And once you have noticed the life you want, you should practice pulling it. From now on, I will talk in more detail about how to attract and realize your own defined wealth and success. Have you ever quit on your own because you don't get the goal you want? You have to be desperate to achieve your goal, and the law of attraction applies to achieving it. Today, we're going to listen to the mind's author on this law. I'm sure you'll be able to pull the life you want in a powerful way if you watch this video. If you have a proper understanding of how to install wealth software in your unconscious mind, that is, the law of pulling, and if you are determined to give it a try, you may be quite excited at first. Finally, I have a hope that I can make my dream come true, and I am determined to be willing to speak aloud. Write my goals 100 times a day and visualize them with my imagination. To be honest, however, this process of replacing software or installing the habit of pulling is not as easy as you think. If you thought, wouldn't it be this hard? Then think of it as 10 times more difficult than that. Suddenly getting a little depressed. There is a situation that is even more depressing. It is when nothing changes even though I have overcome all the difficulties and practice them every day. Too many people self-fixate at this point. When on earth does that desperate dream come true? There is something you must check before you quit, just because the desired goal is not achieved. It is a firm conviction that, do I really want this? If you are desperate for a goal, you will act fiercely to achieve it. It should be noted that here I describe not as to act, but to act. If you implement the law of attraction as a habit every day, at some point, you will be naturally doing various actions to achieve your goal. If you have checked how desperate you are, then you should make sure that your real desired goal is correct. The way to check is simple. Do your heart palpitates and smiles just by imagining the moment your desired goal is achieved? Do you get excited like the night before a childhood picnic, when you were in bed and unable to sleep? Otherwise, it is not the life you really want. To make the desired life a reality, you must first install new software in the unconscious. We've looked at 4 installation methods: speaking out, writing by hand, visualizing, and appreciating. I add 6 more methods to this. That's why I think it's the maximum of the law of attraction for myself. Most of them say, when on earth do you do it all? But in fact, if you become a habit, you can make it easy because the unconscious automates it. Write your goals on the first note. You can start with your final or mid to long-term goals in your life and write down the sub-goals you want to achieve them. Additionally, there are a number of other types of goals that are completely unrelated to these goals. Even if your final and sub-goals in life are financial goals related to assets or income. If you have any goals you want to achieve in your career or other areas, at least that's good. They also ask if there are too many goals. Naturally, the most important goal in life, the life you want, must be clearly one. But it is okay if there are as many goals that inevitably follow in the process of achieving them. Also, even if it is a completely different kind of goal, it doesn't matter, at least as long as it doesn't interfere with the most important goal. All you have to do is read exactly twice a day after writing this down. As soon as you wake up in the morning, and just before you go to sleep, read the goal. That's because it's the best time for your unconscious. It has been emphasized earlier that the only way to install new software in the unconscious is through conscious behavior. However, from the moment you start reading the goals written in the past tense, your consciousness will begin to interfere. What's the point of writing a sentence in the past tense when it hasn't even been accomplished yet? Isn't that a big goal? It's not realistic. Consciousness sends these thoughts up and down. Therefore, you must infiltrate unconsciousness at the very moment when the consciousness of blocking and interfering with the ironclad is miserably unarmed. The optimal timing is when I just woke up and just before I fell asleep. For reference, 10 of the 35 goals I have written have already been achieved. Second, say your goal 1,000 times for 90 days. This method is the most difficult. From the standpoint of having done all the laws of attraction, it is similar to or slightly more difficult than handwriting the goal 100 times for 100 consecutive days. In fact, I thought it was impossible to realize because it was difficult. But I believed that doing this would change my life, and practiced it without any doubt. The goal is stated 1,000 times for 90 days. In order to install new software by imprinting the goal on the unconscious through habituation. Why is it 90 days instead of 100 days? According to the 2009 European Journal of Social Psychology, a specific behavior was implemented at the same time every day, and the habit took an average of 12 weeks to establish itself completely. In other words, it takes at least 3 months to make a new habit completely yours. Bob Proctor emphasized this in his lecture. It is not easy to change unconsciousness. Talking out loud for days or weeks doesn't change your unconsciousness. You have to do it 1,000 times a day for 90 days to change your unconsciousness. Once it's changed like that now, you're living the way you want it to be for the rest of your life. Third, thank you in advance as soon as you wake up in the morning. Today was the best day ever. Thank you so much. You can talk more specifically about what you were grateful for. It's like saying, this happened today, so I'm grateful. The effect of attraction is maximized when you thank me like this, with a mind that you've already experienced the day before the day begins in earnest. Every morning, most people struggle to get out of the covers, grimacing their foreheads. I'm so tired that I want to sleep a little longer. Sometimes I just don't want to go to work. And sometimes I despair when I realize that it's Monday. It's actually harder than I thought to have a good morning for these tens of thousands of reasons. But think about it. When we want something, we pay in advance to get what we want later. Why don't you think about the grateful outcome? If you want a grateful outcome, let's thank them in advance. Fourth, high five with myself. Let's give a high five to you in the mirror, with words of encouragement and support. Embarrassed. At first, I felt like my hands and feet were cringeworthy. But what does it matter? I'm alone with the bathroom door locked anyway. I still can't forget the feeling of high five with me for the first time. The moment my hands and I in the mirror met, I actually felt a sharp sensation of electricity coming from the back of my left head. This is not an experience for me alone. Many people who have done this have said that they felt similar. Fifth, experience little pull. The goal of speaking, writing, and visualizing by imagination is usually a mid to long-term goal. Mid to long-term goals are bound to take some time to be achieved. If you want to feel the effect of attraction in the near future, a small pull can be helpful. A small pull is a way to visualize very small and trivial things in everyday life with imagination as follows. In the parking lot where there is usually no room, there is exactly one seat left for me today. I see a red mailbox today. A small but good thing happened to me today, and my acquaintance sends me a congratulatory text. 6. Organizing the blankets. Making a bed is a very trivial thing, but I really want to highlight 2 of the great benefits of this little habit. First, there is no better way to automate success by making it a habit. Making your bed is the easiest way to experience as much success as possible. As mentioned earlier, making your bed is very trivial. But ironically, it is never easy to make a blanket in the morning. Without missing a single day 365 days a year. If you were successful in making your bed only half of a year, let's say, even so, it's equivalent to 180 small successes. If you've had success all year, you'll experience a whopping 365 successes. Second, You can encourage yourself. We usually give encouragement to many people, but we don't encourage ourselves. Imagine yourself returning home after a difficult day, when you don't seem to have done anything special but time has passed. Then, you'll think like this if you see a neatly arranged bed. But today, I succeeded in this one. I was so busy in the morning, but I organized it well and left. At that very moment, you can cheer yourself up as much as you want. The energy of positivity will fill you up inside. Let's summarize the law of attraction mentioned above. Say your goals 100 times a day. Handwriting 100 times a day for 100 days. Visualizing with imagination. To be thankful. Write your goals in your notes and read them before and after bedtime. Speaking 1,000 times for 90 days. Thank you in advance. Self-high five. Experiencing a small pull. Getting up in. All of these methods are my own, without exception. There will still be people who have doubts about this will change my life. I will answer instead in the words of Bob Proctor, a successful entrepreneur, writer, and master of self-development. You don't have to believe that the law of pulling doesn't make sense. You may not understand electricity, but you benefit from it. I still don't understand how electricity is made and operated, but I know that electricity can make dinner. Use electricity too. If repeating the pull every day feels difficult, think about it this way. Have you ever thought you were tired of washing your face or eating every day? The process of planting goals in the unconscious is not much different. Think of it as repeating the pull every day, as if you are washing your face every day and eating every day. Motivation should be a daily routine. You don't just do it when you have tough moments in your life. Attaching attraction as a habit will help you realize your goals naturally in every area of your life. Not just about wealth, but also in your working life, business, sports, and personal challenges. Following the previous video, today we've summarized 10 ways to make our goals into reality. Most people try to attract the life they want for weeks or months, and then stop at some point. In this case, we can borrow the author's words and think of it as an action necessary in our daily lives, just as we eat every day. Of course, making habits is not easy. This is because I have lived according to the programs inherent in the unconscious for over decades. However, if you are desperate for the life you want, I think you can achieve it through this practice. For those of you who watched this video today, it will be a better day than yesterday. I hope you succeed by burning a flame in your heart.